going on, guys? Dylan here. Today we'll be going over a ticker symbol analysis on the ticker symbol CRWV, core weave, guys. We have seen the IPO and stock price as per usual, guys. Almost always with these IPOs, they form a range, right? Highs being here and the lows being down here. We've seen the top being broken with volume confirmation, right? We test the floor 1, 2 times using a support and just a massive surge in price action, guys. Every single short seller who has attempted to short stock within this region has been squeezed to the upside, ultimately sending price higher. We are seeing a pennant-like structure flag forming at these highs, potentially leading to a big breakout, right? Or a pretty nasty knife down, guys. So this is a very, very volatile moment for CRWV, and we will break into this analysis starting over on the weekly time frame. On the weekly analysis, guys, clearly CRWV is just a beast. I mean, as simple as that. We've seen 1 week, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 green weeks in a row, starting to form a red candle. This is where short sellers might attempt to step in. Keyword attempt to get that red to green momentarily reversal, perhaps coming down to this 125 psychological dollar level to risk these lows, target these lows. But keyword attempt, guys, because within these regions, I think a lot of surface level traders say, oh, it's overextended, go short. But really, these kind of movements, guys, when they're parabolic, I mean, they eat short sellers up for breakfast. We've seen a very similar thing over here. We had an obvious pause after an overextension, and these short sellers in their position got squeezed over 125, leading into a very quick pop, a 50% price action at a peak within 1 week. So the question is now, as a technical analyst, is this a pause to eventually have this big, nice bullish engulfing pressing up, which could lead into another multi-week run, guys? And that's non-biased at all. I don't have any horse in this race. We could see a big movement up, right? Eating up this candle, forming a bullish engulfing into another euphoric movement, perhaps leading to $230. And that's completely hypothetical. But as of now, looking on the weekly, we only have so many candles because it's such a short time frame stock that it's been IPO'd and all that. So, we will keep this more brief than we typically do on a weekly, being that we don't have as much data as we need. We'll get more of that on the lower time frames. But, we do acknowledge that on the weekly, stock prices had a very violent move up and a pause. So energy is building for either another big move up or a big move down. It's pretty unlikely with these kind of stocks you'll see it, multi-week consolidation. Likely to see some big price action soon. So with that being acknowledged, go flip over to the daily, being what we got out of the weekly, to get a little bit more of a medium-term analysis. With these kind of structures, guys, I've seen them time and time and time and time and time and time again. Over the years, man, they keep happening. You see a big flagpole-like structure, a massive movement to the upside, signifying that buyers are beasting this stock to the upside. They love the stock. And then you see the calm before the storm. It's very, very calm. For eventually, stock price has to make a decision getting to the end of this calmness to make a massive move to the upside or to the down. So obviously, as of now, right, I definitely do predict a pennant flag-like structure to happen. Once I seen this candle over here drop, I immediately drew these constraints, and they've literally stayed exactly amongst that as of yet. So really the question is, do we see new structures within this? Do we see perhaps stock price come down a little bit and bounce here, form a new structure? So the flags here come up, reject, another touch point. Perhaps, maybe we do see this flag fruition is longer than I would expect. I do anticipate this to break out or break down within the next 4 or 5 trading days. But as of now, we have a very, very clear pennant structure on the daily, guys. And whether this breaks to the upside or the down, I mean, we have a very, very calm pause after an incredible movement to the upside of, once again, over 200% from these IPO lows. So, this is going to lead guys to revisiting this previous breakout level being 125, or perhaps getting to that psychological $200 level, which we will mark up, guys. With these breakout kind of stocks, keep an eye on these psychological levels. They offer a ton of resistance and support, right? You see in the past, just for example, let's go mark up $100 to see what happened at $100, right? Stock price broke over it, bounced perfectly, held it, and boom, right? We didn't come back to it. 125, the next psychological level. We held there for 1 day, 2, 3, flipping, looking like the short sellers might get that drip down, ultimately getting trapped, squeezing right back over it. And you see the short sellers getting squeezed to the upside here, guys. So with that being said, this structure very well could lead to a 37% move to the upside or a 17% movement to the downside. So let's not take this lightly, guys. There's a lot of volatility within this, and traders are very much keeping an eye on this. So as of now, right, we could form the structure a couple different ways and take our best stab at what will happen. I do believe the current candle wicks we're seeing as of now being here, here, here are the base, and we likely will see a retest at the top, reject, and another test on the bottom. Eventually, potentially getting to this apex structure where stock price is as tight as humanly possible, where it has to make a move. So keep an eye on this, guys. This really will let you know what will happen. No need to overcomplicate things. We have seen, obviously, buyers have been continuing to dominate this stock, and despite having a little bit of a curl off top, a little bit of a crescendo, really more or less just forming a pennant. So let's not overanalyze things we don't need to. The model on the channel is technical analysis.bs, and this is the number one thing we want to watch, and we really don't want to overcomplicate things, guys. Of course, you could make an argument, right, if we do break 140 bucks, there could be more downside to occur, but I'm pretty positive, guys, that even if we do break out from these lows, which we're obviously based out as of right now, right, being roughly in this area, I think it's more or less likely that we actually come down once again and give another touch point somewhere here and rechange that flag to be over here being the touch point instead of currently, which it is at somewhere around here being 1, 2, 3 touch points. So keep that in mind, guys. We will be following this as this transpires live. With that being said, let's go flip over to the hourly analysis. On the hourly analysis, guys, we just get an even more beautiful perspective of how clean this pennant structure is. And it only makes sense, guys. Centering back to the daily for just a second, guys. I mean, you made a monstrous move up, right? A monstrous move up from lows to highs, 33 to 166. This is the spot where you should expect some essence of a consolidation to depict the next move, right? It's unlikely just to knife down, right? Not typical. Typically, you get people sitting on the sidelines to wait for the next big movement. So looking at the hourly, guys, once again, we don't want to overanalyze things we don't need to, right? We're seeing, once again, the obvious constraints within this. I do believe that this will continue to play out for another few days until we see the breakout or breakdown, guys. Keep an eye on that, guys. Extremely simple, but once again, we expect stock price to continue to play out within this pennant before getting the breakout somewhere within this vicinity, really being the 19th or the 22nd, somewhere within that area, right? A couple of days away, guys, but keep your eyes peeled because once again, this kind of massive flagpole-like structure, this massive pause, right? These short sellers have been trapped in the past over here. They try to get that green to red reversal, gets trapped out, squeeze up. They try once again on these highs and they get squeezed out. So we know that short sellers are trying to, right, take a stab at this overextension. But guys, I mean, if they fail, once again, you can see a really, really intense squeeze to the upside. And, beginner Dylan Trader B, right, 6, 7 years ago or whatever, like, yeah, I'd probably be looking to short this, but be careful, guys. That's all I want to say. Just be careful, right? I'm not acknowledging that we are overextended, and perhaps this does play out, and we break $150, right, in the apex and knife down. That 100% can happen, guys, but the trend is your friend. Much more likely that we do continue to break to the upside, perhaps targeting this psychological $200 level. We'll continue to cover CRWV as this continues to transpire live. If you guys found any value out of the video, consider like, subscribing. We will continue to cover this as it transpires live. This is a very, very sensitive, liquid, in the moment conversation, and this structure can lead to, once again, 200 bucks or 125. That's a big difference, guys. So that being said, guys, subscribe once again if you found any value. Have a good day, guys, and peace.